Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero. We are back again talking about certain individuals online. Like once again, Sorowin. It's absolutely hilarious watching him crash the fuck out over the fact that people want to voluntarily support the Rippaverse Animation Fund. I think it's absolutely hilarious. Also watching him as well as other individuals claiming that Chuck Dixon isn't a legendary writer. He isn't a legend in the comic book industry, even while their own frog daddy, Throat Goat, praised him in the past as being a legend. The same person that they constantly bootlick and sock off on a daily basis has said himself that Chuck Dixon is a legend in the comic book industry. So let's go on to say right here with Student of God, don't make you a legend. Ethan Van Sciver claims Dixonverse is not a comic book legend, then goes on to stroke his own ego. Let's take a listen, shall we?
He's good, but he's not Chris Claremont. John's short dong hates X-Men. Oh. Yeah. I think it's you get to a certain age and people call you legend. Now listen, I was being called legend by DC Comics, the legendary Ethan Van Sciver. When I was in...
Isn't it crazy how he says as you get to a certain age, you become a legend in the comic book industry? That's absolutely crazy how, oh, he's not a legend, right? Oh, yeah, sure. Even though your own person that's your bootlicking is even saying that he's a legend, right?
In my 30s, you know what I mean? Like, I was being called legendary back then, because I am legendary. You know what legendary means? There are legends about you. What are the legends about Chuck Dixon? Go ahead. Give me a minute. There are legends about me. People talk about...
No, they're not. No, there isn't. People talk about Chuck Dixon a hell of a lot more than they talk about you. What have you created besides Cybercuck and all the other trash you've made? Oh, you created the Green Lantern Corps that, I don't know, Jeff Johns wrote most of those stories anyway. You didn't even write any of those stories. You just created them. Wow. That's going to be your legacy? Oh, no, it's going to be... You know what's going to be your legacy? You're the biggest, fattest individual from New Jersey who literally talks about the one dude in comics that has outdone you in your own industry in only 3 years, in less than 3 years actually. He has outdone you in your own industry while you sit there and cry about him every single day of your life. People care about Chuck Dixon's Batman stories as well as Dick Grayson and all the villains he's co-created, including Bane with Graham Nolan. Oh look, here's a tweet from EVS himself. EVS and Chuck Dixon live chat event trailer tonight at 10 p.m. A legend. It's literally right there, black and white, for these absolute fucking morons who want to sit there and say, Chuck Dixon isn't a legendary writer, even when the person they bootlick and suck off on a daily basis literally sits here and says that the man is a legend. Right here, he's a legend, just a reminder. Legendary comics writers Chuck Dixon, Archie Goodwin, yeah. So the people that claim that he's not a legend, even though he's literally wrote tons of Batman stories, is the guy that's not a legend. But you have individuals like Skullface Dumbfuck over here talking about you're confusing prolific with legendary. They are not synonymous, but it literally says it right there as you're being willingly obtuse. But Grok said he's legendary, even though the same person you consistently suck off has called Chuck Dixon a legend. All these people are fucking comic book tourists. Every single one of them. Even when it says longest running writer on Batman related titles, he wrote Detective Comics for over 100 issues. Over 100 issues. Co-created Dick Grayson's Nightwing Identity. The Punisher. Co-created dozens of lasting characters: Bane, the Birds of Prey, Stephanie Brown, Blockbuster, KG Blast, Clue Master, Lynx, Nightwing, and many more. But he's not a legendary individual. Legendary status absolutely earned. Hilarious watching these guys in real time look stupid. And then you have this clown talking about $4 million for one comic's profitable. Bro. $4 million in revenue is profitable over the course of a year, you fucking idiot. When Eric July sells over 100,000 comic books, while the person you suck off has only delivered on Dark Harvest. And even the people who are his biggest sycophants and bootlickers have said that that story is trash and unnecessary and shouldn't have even been made. When production costs are down, the books cost less. My guy, the books cost less than they used to. It's called printing deals, you fucking retarded bitch. This is why you don't run a successful profitable business because you think you know what you're talking about, yet you, for some reason, you're not running the successful business you think you could run. That's why the books cost less, idiot. You don't run a successful business and never will. Where's your 4 million? If you can do better, then do it. Continue shifting that goalpost, coping and seething as you continue to constantly cope and seethe over an animation fund that is voluntarily donated to. I can't hear you from all the boot shoved down your throat. Sturgis really is a pitiful creature. Yeah, the same guy who literally talked about me behind both of his blocks, both of his 2 blocks, is the person calling me, I guess, the pitiful creature. Eric is milking what fans he has for all they have, yet Sturgis still simps for him. Again, you are the fucking type of person that doesn't understand that words have definitions, and I'm not looking for that type of relationship with Eric. You are literally a maggot, a bundle of sticks, for constantly projecting your homoeroticism onto other people. Like all of my haters do. All of my haters project their absolute homoeroticism at all times. Thank you for watching. My haters are truly my biggest fans. By the way, donations are voluntary. Open a dictionary and learn what that means. Voluntary means by choice, unlike you, I don't need a dictionary. You clearly needed a dictionary for how long it took for you to respond. It took you so long to respond. So you know that the word means voluntary, allegedly, until you obviously read a dictionary to figure that one out, because you didn't get past first grade and don't understand what certain things mean. You clearly need a dictionary because you're the type of person who believes Eric July is taking the money out of people's pockets and not understanding the simple concept of voluntary donations. So you sit there, you self-own yourself, you make yourself look absolutely stupid, as you always do, as you continue to suck off and bootlick a fat, overweight, out-of-shape New Jerseyan that delivered 1 book this year. Even by his own admission, as LG would say, he gets felted again. People are choosing to support Eric, and he's mad about it. He's absolutely mad about it. That's why he's been coping and seething for the last 3 days. Because, Eric only has 200 supporters because you're a fucking moron. That makes absolutely no sense when there are thousands of books being sold this year. Over 100,000 books have been sold this year, but for some reason you think he only has a couple hundred supporters. You're an absolute fucking moron. What he has, is what would be the correct thing, is that he has that many people to support an animation fund because those are the people that want that. That's what it's called, you fucking idiot. Because you lack self-awareness. I can't believe how dumb you are. First of all, you have a single-digit IQ. I call you an NPC because you act like an NPC. You talk exactly like every other Rippaverse hater, and I've documented this shit for the last 3 years. Or almost 3 years. All you guys say the exact same thing. You're not an accountant for the Rippaverse. You have no idea how a business is run. You have no idea how the Rippaverse is run. You have no idea how much a warehouse costs because you fucking retards do absolutely no research whatsoever. I've done the research, and it doesn't really cost that much, especially when you rent out a warehouse for years in advance, you idiot. Fell for a marketing ploy, hook, line, and sinker. Just because people are critical of Eric doesn't mean they're jealous, but that's your coping mechanism. All these people are jealous. You know why? Because they have so much time on their hands to sit there and cry about it every single day like you do, because you clearly get no pussy, you have no friends, you have no social life, you have almost 700,000 tweets, but you're going to sit there and tell me you have a life? You don't even get paid by Twitter, and you spend majority of your day on this platform. While sitting there saying that 4 million isn't impressive, you don't have $4 million. You don't run a successful business. Please give me $4 million. That'd be awesome. I go on to say, because he thinks everything's a crash out, even though it's me explaining to you, but of course, trying to explain to an absolute fucking low IQ, single-digit IQ retard is the hardest thing on planet Earth. So people aren't critical of Eric. They are hypocritical. They quote-unquote criticize any action Eric does, while at the same time watching their favorite creator do the exact same thing and say nothing. They cried about sales. EVS has sales on his garbage-ass toys on Big Bad Toy Store. They cried about how Eric sent me a 9.6 Horseman #1. Literally, Shane Davis's wife sells 9.6 on her website. Those are just 2 examples. Easy right off the bat. I know you're slow and you've been dropped on your head one too many times, so let me help you out. You consistently coping daily over a company you don't like making money isn't my problem. That's a you problem. A startup indie company making over $4 million in revenue in a year while you sit there and claim comics you've never read are quote-unquote shittiest flat-out cope. This is you. This is all you do. Day in and day out while you bootlick a fat, overweight, and out-of-shape individual from New Jersey who has put out one comic this year and it was absolutely dog shit. It was so dog shit that even his own sycophant said it was a pointless book. You hear nothing but praise from books written by legendary writers and no one talks about CG books. The CG cult can't even name the characters from the books they allegedly buy. You stay butthurt, crying, coping, seething, and molding on a daily basis and getting BTO'd with facts. That's literally all you do. All day, every day, is cry and claim everyone else is an actual comic fan. John's Longbox has more comics than anybody on this platform or on the YouTube side that claims they're a comic book fan. Yet he's the one talking about comics every week with actual creators, actual legendary creators like Chuck Dixon and Romita Jr. Do you see EVS getting those deals? Oh, he also talked to Mark Miller, too. Small as a channel as John's Longbox is, which he honestly absolutely deserves to have way more subscribers than he has, talks to actual legendary writers and artists in the comic book industry. You don't see EVS with all his clout and all his influence, quote-unquote, talking to people like that. He literally begged for Mark Miller to come on his show, and he never did. Yet a channel as small as John's Longbox can get someone like him on his channel. But you sit there and call people grifters and comic tourists. My guy in Christ. Fake-ass Christian. You don't buy comic books. Calling anyone a comic tourist makes you sound retarded. And this is exactly why I say you're an NPC and a single-digit IQ individual. And grifting? What's the grift, my guy? I believe everything that I'm saying. I don't have anything that I'm saying. I believe everything I'm saying. Grifting would require that I'm swindling people out of money. You literally bought a blue check mark when you thought you could clout chase off of me and Eric July. No one cares about your posts unless they are about me or him. Gay Beans has digital comics. Those aren't real comics. Define grifter. Where's the scam? This is the same guy. Gay Beans is the same guy who, just like another individual I spoke with, has to keep his quote-unquote comics that he allegedly has in storage because they're so pussy-whipped by their alleged wife that they can't keep the stuff inside the house. So their quote-unquote wife makes them go pay for storage while I can keep all my comic books here in my office. I don't have to go out of my way to pay for storage. I can keep all my comics here. This is how fucking stupid people like this are. And apparently I'm looking for parasocial relationship memorabilia. I've never talked to the writer or artist of Reign of Ages, yet I have their comics. I've read the first two books of the Case of the Littlest Umbrella. Both fantastic books, by the way. I also have other CG books like Cash Grab, Starlight Cats. Oh no, that's Shane Davis and that's Cecil. And I also had Cyberfrog at one point. It was garbage and I sold it. I also have Inglorious Rex, which is also a Shane Davis book. I also have Fiendish. So please let me know, do you see anything? Majority of the books that are on this in this picture are CG books. There's literally just Isom 1 and 2, and everything else is a CG book. Oh, look, it's She from Billy Tucci, and Harley Heroes from Shattermore Comics. And then Alien Alamo from Graham Nolan. And then this is all up here. All Iconic Comics. Man, to them, it's parasocial relationships. In reality, it's called building good relationships with people that are interested in the same stuff you're interested in. Not once did I buy a product hoping that someone would praise me and give me backpats for buying their fucking product. The only thing I expected when I bought a product from somebody is that I got simple respect and thanking me for buying their product. So, majority of the stuff on this picture are all mostly from Iconic Comics. All of this, everything down here. This is Infinitail. Achromatic Chronicles Blue from J. Junk 3PO. And look, more Shane Davis books. Stealing Solo from the World Class Bullshitters, and then Cyberfrog Omnibus, which I also sold. So you are legitimately retarded because you sit there and say the exact same things that you're told to believe because you don't say anything of value whatsoever. Everything you say is absolute drivel and absolute bullshit. Both you and Skullface and every other Ripperverse hater out there say a bunch of drivel, bullshit nonsense and prove to everyone that you don't know shit about the indie comic business or anybody in indie comics. I promote next to the most indie books on my channel. I don't see EVS going outside his little circle jerk and promoting people. I promote more than any of these other clowns in that new CG cult over there. Books these clowns I've never even heard of that I said were great. And people went out and bought them. So, miss me with that bullshit. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you do like this video, smash the like button. Comment below if you feel about this. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or go live on the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.